Hey everyone, so today I'm trying something totally new. It's Terrazzo. I've seen so many gorgeous Terrazzo trays and coasters online and I thought, why not give it a go myself? So I've made a grey background with soft pastel chips, but I honestly have no idea if it's going to come out smooth or a total mess. So let's find out together, will it work or not? So here, the normal story, I'm just adding my powder to liquid and I just sped this up because I'm sure you don't want to watch me mixing the Gypsunite together. Was just going to do a grey background. I use a powdered pigment and I just wanted it to be a nice color grey. So I added little bits at a time just to make sure that I didn't put too much of the black pigment powder in. And like I said, I have never done terrazzo before, so I was quite nervous about doing it because I have seen a lot of people doing terrazzo and theirs seemed to come out beautifully, but I wasn't sure whether mine was going to. I did have quite a few different colored chips there. You can see from all my leftover bits and pieces that I've made. They are quite light, so I wasn't sure whether they were going to show up at all because they're not very bright. They were more pastel colors, greens and pinks, and I think there was even some white pieces in there, but I wasn't too sure if they were even going to show up. So here I'm just pouring it into the tray. It does make it go quite thick, so I made sure that I didn't fill the tray too much and gave it a bit of a whacking on the counter just to get it into all the corners and, well, not that there's corners, but the edges on the actual mold. This is just a normal oval rounded edge tray that I use quite a lot. As you can see, it was already starting to go quite thick because the terrazzo is dry, and obviously when you add it to the gypsumite or your jasminite or whatever you use, it does thicken up quite quickly, I noticed. So here again, I'm just giving it a tap and a jiggle just to get all the bits down. I was a bit worried about air bubbles because obviously air bubbles could get trapped in the actual chips. So I was a little bit worried about that. I did do a coaster as well with the leftover. I wasn't even sure if the coaster was going to work because the gypsumite was already getting quite thick, as you can see. And so I was a little bit nervous that the coaster wasn't even going to work. So I didn't film the coaster because I was probably going to leave it out if it didn't work. But here you can just see I'm trying to get it flattened, and the top sections do stick out a little bit, and of course I'm not one for sanding, so I was a little bit worried about that. But here it was dried and the color looks darker now before it dried totally than when it's as actually finished. But there you can't see any terrazzo pieces. So already I was like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work. So I did sand it straight away in a bowl of water. And at first I was using just a not very rough sanding block. But there I started to get very excited because I could actually see the little terrazzo chips coming through as I was sanding it. So I was quite excited because already it looked like it was going to work. I didn't wait the recommended time. I actually did it straight after unmolding because I thought it's still quite damp, so it'll probably be easier to sand it than waiting longer, and then it would probably be harder to actually get the actual gypsumite off the terrazzo chips. So this section I'm just going to speed up a little bit, and then you'll be able to see how it comes out. And as I was sanding, more and more of the terrazzo chips were being revealed, and it really was starting to look so pretty. I wish I had used brighter chips, because I think you would have even noticed it even more, but the chip colors were coming through, so I was really happy with how it was coming out. And here I was doing the sides, and they were also revealing such pretty colors with the terrazzo chips. It does make quite a mess. And here I got a rougher, it's actually a nail file, and it was actually working even better. So I will speed this up again until we get to the back. Like I was saying, it does make quite a mess. I was quite full of sprinkles from moving around the nail file, and so yeah, we did have a little bit of a mess to clean up, but it actually wasn't too much of a mess. It wasn't as much as I actually thought it was going to be. So here I'm just doing the inside, the sides of it, and it was absolutely amazing how those colors come out. It really does. Even watching it now, it's actually amazing how those colors come out from underneath that solid black or gray surface that you originally saw. And here I just had a 800 piece of sandpaper that I was using to just get it nice and smooth again. And now we get to the back, and the back was horrendous, absolutely horrendous. It was so rough, and I thought, I'm never going to get this right. But again, I used the same nail file. It's actually quite a thick one. I get it from our local store that keeps anything that you can think of, but not much craft stuff, but they do keep a lot of nail stuff. So this is actually what I thought I would use, and it worked really well. It's quite rough. I think it's a 240, but it's quite rough. It's rougher than any sandpaper that I had. And even the bottom, how pretty it was coming out. It really was coming out so nicely. And so here, obviously because it was the bottom, I wasn't too worried about the bottom, but I did want to get it as smooth as possible so that I could put the feet on and it wouldn't be wonky. So here again, I'm just giving it a once over with the 800 sandpaper. But all in all, I thought it came out really beautifully. And here is once it had dried nicely, and I am doing a coat of my varnish on it. I had already done one coat of 50-50 water to the varnish. It's a sealer, it's a sealer, but I'm not very happy when I get brush marks. So in hindsight, I should have just done a coat of the aerosol clear lacquer, which is what I like to use on the flat surfaces because I don't like any streak marks. But unfortunately, I had already done the first coat and there were slight streak marks on it. So I finished it off here with one layer of proper varnish, and I'm using, these are lint-free wipes. I thought the lint-free wipes would actually maybe give it an even smoother edge or surface to a brush or whatever. And on the coaster it worked a lot better. But I also think I got a bit carried away with the nail file when I was sanding it, and I didn't smooth it off as well as I could have. So I did do another 2 coats with the aerosol clear lacquer, and that did give it a lot better finish. But next time I won't use the lint free or any of those. I will just do a normal spray clear lacquer. And this is the final result. Like I said, I was really happy with my first attempt. I think it came out really nicely. I do wish I had used brighter chips because they would have shown up a lot better with the grey backing. But those are the chips that I had, and those are the chips that I used. So I think for my first attempt, it was a success. And I will try again, but this time I will use brighter chips, I think, with a darker background. All in all, I'm actually so happy with how it turned out. I think for my first try, I think it is a win. I hope you enjoyed watching my experiment, and please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And again, until next time, have a great one.